Welcome to Pierre Academy. In this tutorial, we will guide you through the full setup and configuration process of the Pierre Controller via Ethernet. We begin by connecting the Ethernet cable to the Pierre. After that, we power on the system by switching on the fuse. Once powered, the LED on the power supply lights up, the Pierre begins to blink, and the connected dimmable lamp briefly flashes as part of its default startup behavior. Next, we open the partner application and begin the setup process. We add the detected Pierre as a new controller. As soon as it starts blinking, it confirms that it's in pairing mode. We name it apartment, set the network type to Ethernet and DHCP, and save the configuration. The pairing is successful. At this point, the controller downloads the latest firmware and begins booting. When the status LED on the Pierre turns green, that confirms it's online and ready for configuration. We now begin the configuration process using the mobile interface. The first device we add is a boiler, which is connected to the first mechanical relay output. In the app, we navigate to the Outputs section, tap Add, and select Electrical Outlet for the boiler. We name it Boiler, assign it to the pre-created Academy dashboard, and designate pin 1 as the control pin. Next, we add the two lights connected to the relay board outputs. These are connected to pins 2 and 3. In the app, we add them one at a time under the light category, naming them Light 1 and Light 2. Assigning them to the same Academy dashboard, and setting pins 2 and 3 respectively. After saving each, the used pins disappear from the selection list for clarity. We then proceed to configure the dimmable light. Since this is connected to a configurable I/O on the Pierre, we don't add it as a standard output, but as a configurable I/O device. We tap Add, select Dimmable Light, name it Dim1, assign it to the Academy dashboard and select pin 6 as it was physically connected there. After saving, the controller immediately recognizes and links the device. Following that, we add a motion sensor. This is an input device, so we navigate to the Inputs section and tap Add. We select Motion Sensor, name it Motion, optionally assign it to the dashboard and choose pin 1 where it's wired into the Pierre's input. We then save the configuration. Lastly, we add a contact sensor or magnet sensor, which was connected to pin 2 on the Pierre. We followed the same steps. Tap Add, select Magnet Sensor, name it Magnet, and assign it to pin 2. Next, we add the temperature sensor. Since it is wired to digital pin 1, we navigate to the configurable I/O section in the app, tap Add, and select Temperature Sensor, naming it Temp. We assign it to pin 1 and save. For demonstration, we also display it on the dashboard, allowing easy access and real-time monitoring. With the sensor added, it's time to configure the heating zone. We navigate to Outputs, tap Add, and select Passive Heating/Cooling, as we're dealing with underfloor heating in this case. We name it Floor Heating. Assign it to the Academy dashboard, and select pin 4, where it was wired. It's important to note that the system requires a temperature sensor to be linked to a heating or cooling output. Since we already added one, we simply scroll down, select the available sensor, and complete the setup by saving. As a best practice, always add temperature sensors before assigning them to heating zones. Moving on to the roller shutter or blind, we add it under the blind category. We name it Blind, assign it to the Academy dashboard, and specify the control pins, pin 5 for one direction and pin 6 for the other. While there's an option to assign up/down control buttons, we'll add those in the next steps. We now add the physical buttons that will manually control the blinds. These are input devices, so we go to the Inputs tab, tap Add, select Button, and name the first one Blind Up, assigning it to pin 3. After saving, we add the second button, Blind Down, and assign it to pin 4. With both buttons created, we return to the blind settings and assign the buttons to their respective roles. The blind up button as the up trigger, and the blind down as the down trigger. We save the configuration and now our blind is fully controllable both from the app and via physical buttons. Now that everything has been configured, it's time to test. We open the mobile app, and as you can see, all devices have been automatically loaded into the dashboard. Everything is present and visible. Let's try the first light. With one tap, it turns on. The second light responds just as well. Next, we test the dimmable light. We open its control interface and adjust the intensity. After switching it on, we see that it works perfectly, dimming smoothly from bright to soft lighting, allowing precise control over the ambiance. We begin by fine-tuning the dimmable light. Using the dimmer knob, we can easily adjust the intensity to make it dimmer or brighter. But for now, the current setting works just fine. We close the interface and move on to test the boiler setup. The boiler, represented here by an indicator light, is activated. Once we switch it on, we hear the mechanical relay click and see the red light turn on, indicating that the boiler simulation is working perfectly. On the dashboard, we can also monitor real-time temperature values, which are accurately tracked by the sensor. We now test the floor heating. Setting a target temperature of 30 degrees triggers the system immediately since the current temperature is below the target. Within a short time, the heating valve opens as expected. While we wait, we test the roller blind. We press the up direction and the blind begins to rise. To calibrate level control, we must first allow it to reach its end position. For demonstration, we reduce the travel time to 10 seconds. Once calibration is complete, we can adjust its position using the level control, move it up, down, stop midway, or set a specific height based on the calibrated travel time. Next, we test the magnetic contact sensor. Initially, it shows a closed status. When the magnet is removed, it instantly changes to open and reverts to close when replaced. Moving on to the motion sensor. At first, it doesn't appear to detect movement, but this is due to the input type configuration. We return to the partner app, locate the motion sensor input, scroll down to the advanced section and switch the detection mode to change. After saving, the Pierre Controller fetches the updated configuration, and now, when motion is detected, the small green indicator lights up. But what's the use of motion and contact sensors without automation? Let's connect them to lights. We long press the first light, light 1, swipe right to the automation tab, and add a new automation. We choose to trigger this automation with motion detection by selecting the existing I/O input, our motion sensor. When motion is detected, the light turns on. We save and complete the configuration. While the controller processes that update, we repeat the process for the second light, light 2, this time linking it to the magnetic contact sensor. If the sensor detects the door or window opening, the light will turn on. After saving, we switch both lights to auto mode. Light 1 turns on immediately upon detecting movement. Light 2 activates as soon as we separate the contact sensor magnet. Returning the magnet doesn't switch it off immediately, as both lights are configured with a 2-minute timeout to avoid flickering. After this period, they turn off automatically. Meanwhile, the heating valve successfully opened, indicating that all automation tied to the temperature sensor and heating zone is functioning correctly. Finally, we demonstrate that the blind is also operable via the physical buttons we connected. With one press, it begins moving, confirming that manual control works just as smoothly as mobile automation. And with that, the entire Pierre Controller setup is complete. Lighting, heating, blinds, motion contact sensors, and automations are fully functional and ready for real-world use. Great job on getting everything up and running, and thank you for watching this Pierre Academy tutorial.